have been growing my business. I started out, I told you my very first year in business, 11 months, I was a spiritual life coach, I made 6 figures. It was almost like overnight. I did not have a bookkeeper. I did not have a business account. I did not have an LLC. I know, Francie, don't choke on your lunch. I had nothing, and I was running everything through me. The next year, I made over 200,000 or 150,000. The next year, 200, 300, $500,000, continued up to almost 7 figures. And I had no idea, financially, entity-wise, I had no idea what in God's name I was doing. I went out, I made money, I served, and I paid taxes. And then I met Jonathan. Jonathan gave me the news, what my tax bill was going to be. And I told you in there, I am not paying it. No, thank you. I said, Mr. Smarty Pants, you look about 10. He is not. He is obsessed with tax law. Not just ideas, but the law around taxes. He will look at every new, improved, anything that is happening. This man is on the pulse of tax law. He knows his business. He is the founder of, yes, Naked Tax Talk. I had to pay him to come clothed because it might get distracting. And we want to make sure you pay attention. He is going to give you great value. He is going to bring to you everything that he has brought to me in a very short period of time. So put down your forks and knives and bring Jonathan Bangle to the stage.
All right, so who's ready to get naked? That's what I'm talking about. So listen, let me tell you something. Before we can actually get naked and get down to the naked truth about our finances, I have to share some sad, sad news. Here's the truth. I gotta show you a video first. I almost forgot. But you know what? I want to tell you a little backstory about this real fast. I filmed this when I was in France, just recently in October. Je parle français, donc, is there anybody here who speaks French? French? Ouais, d'accord. Bon, je peux parler français aussi à vous, si vous voulez. Sinon, c'est pas de problème. Español, ¿dónde estás, mis española? Oh, está bien, entonces yo puedo hablar español también. Русский, здравствуйте. Нет? Oh, хорошо, очень приятно. So, now, here we go. Ready? So, I'm in southern France because the government says to me, you can travel to a foreign country or wherever the hell you want to go. And I forgot to tell you the warning. What I'm about to share with you is extremely dangerous. And it can hurt you if you don't use it correctly. But I'm also going to share with you, you should consult with a tax expert or a tax attorney, not me, thank goodness, or you should consult a CPA, maybe, or an IRS enrolled agent, or a certified tax coach, or a certified tax planner. But the point is, consult somebody, because here's the truth. People come up to me all the freaking time and they say, you know what, I was told that I can deduct my tax. That's what I was told. My accountant's friend said I can deduct the cat. And you're like, what's the cat doing? So anyway, so I digress. So I go to France because the government rewarded me for going to France to film videos for my talks. Thank you, Uncle Sam. So we should be appreciative of the IRS. Wow. So here we go. Maybe, or maybe not. I don't know. Does this thing work? Is this thing on? Never mind. It's called a click. So let's see. Go next. All right, here we go. So let's see. Play, damn you. All right, here we go. There's no audio, I apologize. We are inside the caves, in prehistoric caves, here, in the moat. Here, where are we at? What's the castle? Oh, damn it! All right, hold on, try it again. This is how scary movies are made, I'm just saying. Like, we are inside caves. Oh my God. Look at the spiders. Oh God. Okay, it's time to go. It's time to go. Yeah, keep low. There's certain things we don't need to explore. One of those things that we don't need to explore. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm okay with that. Get out of there. I'm okay with that. Okay, those are some scary ass spiders. Ooh. Here's the truth, peoples. I walked into that cave, prehistoric Neanderthals lived in there. Prehistoric humans lived in there. And we just simply bought a ticket to a castle that just so happened to have these caves. And so we went in there, explored it without a plan, without an idea, without a strategy. We just kind of went in there because it looked so inviting. Who wouldn't go into a cave, right? A nice big hole like this big, even bigger. And like, ooh, I might find some bones in there or something. So you kind of crawl in there and you saw, right? And then all of a sudden I'm like, this is truly where scary movies are made. And I have an extreme phobia for spiders. Anybody in here has a phobia for spiders? That's what I'm talking about. So I see those damn things up on the roof, and I panic, and you saw I got the hell out. And when I ran out of there, I was still frightened for the next 10 minutes. This video is actually 10 minutes long. And I was like, are they still in my hair? Are they still on my body? And you know what I realized? That is the typical taxpayer. They believe fundamentally that they can do their own taxes themselves thanks to certain online software. They think they can do it themselves thanks to their best friend who says they know how to prepare a tax return. And yet what they don't realize is that there are spiders waiting on the ceiling to bite you. To bite you. Anyone been bitten by the spider IRS eyes? Or something like this? Anyone been bitten by that spider? Yeah, that sucker hurts. In fact, he hurts to the tune of $3.5 million. In fact, that spider bite hurts to the tune of $500,000, $141,000, $43,000, $7,500, and my ass can keep on telling you more numbers. That's how hard those spiders bite. That, my friend, is the IRS. That, my friends, is somebody who does not use a certified tax planner like myself. Now, I got some good news, though. And I asked this question. If you knew today that you were going to cut a check for $3.5 million, so just imagine, we just got done imagining 2023. What would you do with $3.5 million that is already going towards the government? If I could free that up for you, what would you do? Shout it out. Let me hear some answers.
Get naked.
Get naked. That's what I'm talking about. We're gonna hot tub, drink some wine, you know, bring in some strippers, whatever it takes, right? What would you?
That's what's paying for the house in Italy.
That's what's paying for that. As a matter of fact, that is what's gonna help pay for my house in southern France, right? So, what would you do for $500,000? That's what I got somebody off the hook for. They owed the government $500,000. And because I simply know how the law works, I got them off the hook for exactly $0.
Wow.
I did it not just once. I did it twice. $141,000 is a particular one of my favorite clients. Boy, was she pissed. Boy, was she pissed when I told her that her accountant missed over $300,000 of legal deductions that they were entitled to because that's how the law is written. The IRS doesn't want your money. How many of us are entrepreneurs? Right here. How many of us are speakers? How many of us are aspiring to be speakers? How many of us are entrepreneurs in the world of authoritativeship, like authorships, books, you name it, right? The truth is, the government doesn't want your money. It doesn't want it at all. It's been written this way, to reward the entrepreneur who takes the risk. That's the beautiful thing about our government. And yet it's a nasty spider bite if it bites you the wrong way. My average, by the way, I save our clients is $43,000 is our average savings across the board. We only work with a select few amount of clients, and if you're lucky enough to work with us, it will be an amazing experience. And because I have one amazing speaking coach, I'm going to warn you right now that I have an offer coming up. And I also want to tell you that I promise you that when you make the decision to change your tax life, you will never, ever pay $141,000 to the government again, unless it's your own fault because you're making billions. And even then, it will still not compare to what you could pay. So just say it. Hi, I'm Jonathan Bengal. I'm the founder of JB Financial, my first baby that I gave birth to 16 years ago. It is now an honorary teenager who's managed by a wonderful full-time employee right here, Paige. Thank you, Paige. I thought we were going to do this. I am also the founder and creator and the host of Naked Tax Talk because what I realized is that people need to first raise who they are on the inside. Clean out who you are, all the shit, all the baggage that pulls you down. And once we clear that all up, our businesses become the reflection of that. And so the businesses take off. And then from there I realized that when we clear that all up, we clear up the tax. We clear up the cash. Because that too is a reflection of who we are. And I'm the creator of Judge-Free Zones. In 1997, I created the first Gay Straight Alliance for gay youth to get together to avoid the bullies during lunch. A safe zone to come to get together and be united and talk about similar things. In 1997, I stood in front of 600 boys and proclaimed that I would not remain silent as they bullied other boys. And I said, I am that faggot, I am that queer, I am that homo, and I will not remain silent anymore. This last year, I wanted to play in an orchestra, to reconnect with 30-plus-year-olds, to retouch my instrument that I put down for 20 years. And I created the first 30-plus-year-old Phoenix Renaissance Orchestra that you can come and play judge-free. You don't have to worry about how you sound. All you got to do is read music and play a string instrument. Now we're 20 members strong. When you come work with us, you are entering into a safe zone. You are entering into a business that will not judge you for who you are, for how you manage your business affairs, for how you manage your personal life, for how you manage your cash and your taxes. Because the truth is, it's very sensitive. And yet, when you get in front of us, or even a stranger, it is like getting naked for the first time. And once we bear down to the naked truth about who we really are, anything is possible. I wish this thing would work like the way I want it to, but that's all right. All right, so who the hell am I? So I just told you who I am. I'm the founder of these companies. I should also let you guys know that I created a multi-six-figure company by myself. Multi-six-figure company. Anyone dare ask me how much my effective tax rate is?
What is your effective tax rate?
Thank you so much, Kat. My effective tax rate as a multi-six-figure earner in the United States is exactly 12%. The average taxpayer pays over 37.5%. What the F and H? That's right. When you know how to use the law to your advantage because knowledge is power, you can stop the government legally from taking your money and only pay an effective tax rate of 12%. What that has done is it's not only created this cash that I traded earlier from these other people, but even for me. It allowed me to create another business, Naked Tax Talk, because we all know babies just take. It gave me the money to buy my husband a brand new car last year. It gave me the money to pursue my own sense of happiness, which is to serve you, which is to develop a strong relationship with you. Because the truth of the matter is why should we be subjected to paying the government this money? Because it doesn't want it. I also created jobs. Paige is my last and only one that I have. I used to have 3 employees. Last year, I was tired of being undervalued, and I decided to change my model, and so I did. I fired all 350 of my clients, you're an entrepreneur, by the way, how freaking scary does that sound to you?
Yeah, really?
I nailed them all. Toodles noodles. I unfortunately had to let go of all my staff. I had 3 staff members. I let them all go. Because I realized that I wanted to reset the clock. I wanted to define who I was and to stand into my power of who I am. And what you see in front of me is I don't know what that word is, ecstatic? No, something like that. You see somebody in a cool robe who isn't your mama's accountant, because the truth of the matter is that tax strategies and proactive tax planning isn't just one idea, like the only single member LLC that most of us have. I know, right? It's beyond that. You know, if you're a business owner, you should have at least 3 freaking entities in your place. Again, one more time, how many of us are speakers? That's right. If you're a speaker in this room right now, you should have at least 3 entities. Why? Because entities protect your ass. You should have one company that acts as the company that takes the money in and manages all the affairs. The second entity might be an S corporation, might be a C corporation, might be a limited family partnership designed to buy the buildings for your future business so that you can rent from yourself. Uncle Sam lets us, it's called the self-rental rule. And there's a little loophole that says that if I rent to myself at fair market value for less than 14 days a year, I forgot to tell you guys, I talk fast, you should write this stuff down, it's the only time you'll get free advice. If you rent from yourself for 14 days less than, I should say, at fair market value, I get to deduct it from my business, and I get to forget it exists and report it to the government. Love that rule. I love that rule. The other entities can also be created to lease back your own employees, to manage your employees, and then it leases back the employees back to you. By the way, who are my tax experts in the room? Where are you? I know you're in here. Show me your hands, darn it. That's right. All right. The truth of the matter is, everything I say to you guys, it's surface level. Because the truth of the matter is, it's very specific to your particular needs. And everything I say also should be taken with this asterisk. Limitations do apply. So, with that in mind, let's see here, let's go to the next slide. All right. So, what are my credentials, right? I'm an IRS enrolled agent. And what does this mean? Is that when shit hits the fan, you've got somebody who can represent you anywhere in the world, so long as you have an IRS, well, potentially, hopefully not, but a problem in the United States. It also means that we are tax experts. That is all we focus on, all freaking day, all freaking night. I literally wake up, I pee and I poop, and I read tax law. That's what I do. I love it so much. I'm a certified tax coach. I did this because I realized, who are my personal trainers in the room? I know there's one in here. Right? How many of us, you don't have to raise your hand if you don't want to, but how many of us have bought gym memberships? And how many of them have not actually used it? Exactly, right? Me too, I'm that guy. So certified tax coach is important because, like a personal trainer, they hold us accountable and they give us the support. And as a certified tax coach, that's what we do. We support you and we hold you accountable. So when you decide that you want to go buy your 3rd house, before you sign the dotted line, you're calling us. You're emailing us, you're texting us, and you're saying, I'm about to buy this house. What's the ramification? And then I'm looking at it and going, you better not, because you're going to face a $3.5 million tax bill. But let's talk about a way to move around the legal loophole so that you can do it, and you don't have to pay the $3.5 million tax bill. That's what a certified tax coach does. As a certified tax planner, all we do is we specialize in making sure that we develop the right tax strategy. Because here's the truth. Most people have no freaking clue that there's spiders in the cave. They have no freaking clue. And so today, speakers, women entrepreneurs primarily, and entrepreneurs in general, hire me as their chief tax strategist because most, believe it or not, lack the right tax strategies to outsmart the IRS. And by the way, a strategy isn't one freaking idea. It's not. It's a multitude of ideas, like I just said earlier, with creating multiple entities. It's ideas like, how many of us have aging parents? It's like, how many of them are living in their homes right now? It is like basically taking their property and buying it and then turning around and having them move in and then pay you rent. Oh, that creates a deduction. Deduction is a decrease in income, a decrease in tax. Your own parent becomes an asset to you instead of a burden. How many of us have children headed to college? Did you know that if you form a C corporation, you can in fact employ your child and offer them educational benefits, and the corporation gets to deduct the cost as a fringe benefit? How many of us have children that are going to drive? Did you know that if I have an LLC and I'm a single member and I hire them to work for me, I can make them my chauffeur? Just saying. Tax strategies are more than one idea. So as a result of that, they continue to underdeduct and overpay. According to the General Accounting Office, taxpayers in the United States pay over $1 billion a year in unnecessary taxes. Unnecessary, as a result of the errors, unfortunately, created by themselves. Unnecessarily throwing the money away. Listen, if you want to throw your money away, I need a lot of it, so you can just give it to me. Here's the funny part, though. You give it to me, you get to deduct it on your return as a professional, huh? Just saying. So now, what we do, what I set out and my company set out a long time ago, was to unlock the mystery of taxation. Here's the truth, peeps. You can go to Title 26 of the United States Tax Code and read it your damn self. It's not a secret. Right there, Title 26. For those of my experts in the room, Title 26. And inside of it, you will find 26 subchapters of the law. And if you ever were curious about how the S corporation works, you would look under subchapter S for S corporation. And then inside of that are all the freaking rules. But guess what? Tax law isn't just what Congress and those in office put. It is also derived from tax court cases. And by the way, when we work with a certified tax planner like ourselves, we only work with inside the law. We only work with inside the law, either defined by the law itself or reinforced by the court themselves. We don't believe in putting you in a dangerous situation so that you walk into a cave and you get bit by the spiders. We believe in making sure we take you into the cave after you've taken out the spiders. That's the truth. We also work on uncovering legal loopholes. Like I just said earlier, self-employed, taking my parents' house, taking my house, giving it to my family. Hiring my spouse. How many of us have spouses? Can I get a little bit nasty with you guys?
No, sir.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to say something a little bit too much here. Maybe. Let's see. Let's see how the energy feels. Never mind. So, here's the thing. If you have a spouse right now and they're not working next door to you, like working as your employee, I should come around and slap you all. Because here's why. Are you ready for this? If you hire them and you're a single member LLC, you can exempt 15.3% tax on their labor. 15.3%. And it's not just limited to my spouse. I can also hire my kid to do the same thing. Limitations do apply. Now, the other thing is that what we do, now here's the truth. A lot of clients come to us and they're sick. They're sick and tired of paying taxes, and more importantly, their books are a mess, their tax lives are a mess. They have no idea what the hell they're going to do. And so what we do is we reveal to them what they either missed themselves or maybe the professionals they worked with, what was left off the books. like a particular client of mine, was very, very, very upset when I said their accountant missed over $300,000 in deductions that they were legally entitled to. And what that resulted in was an overpayment of taxes of $141,000. Not just this year, because luckily we identified it, but last year, and the year before, and the year before. You see where I'm going with this? So, we bring in current. And then we have a step-by-step process where we look at your returns. Now you're shy to share your social security numbers and your numbers, and we get that. But you send us your returns, you can black them out. And what we do is we look at the numbers. Because I'm a numbers genius, I'm a tax genius, I can look at that return and I can go, oh, that was missed, 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 oh, that was missed. And then I call you in, and I gotta spank you because I love you. As my mother used to say. And I say, this is what your accountant missed out, or this is what you missed out on. Never ever again, but what does that mean to save me? And then you decide, I want to work with you because you know your shit. And then after that, we realized a long time ago that you can give people a plan, but they don't do shit. Because the truth of the matter is you guys want to do what you want to do. You guys want to run your businesses. You want to speak from stage. You want to worry about creating and hooking up people together. You want to create legal things for people, right? This is what you want to do. You want to create bots so people can interact with your company. You want to be able to look at handprints and analyze them. That's what you want to do. So we developed a program that we put you on that maintains you month after month. You know, most accountants have a lovely way of charging people. They're like lawyers, not going to lie, by the hour. And you never know, right? Oh, can you handle this? Sure, not a problem. A month later, $3,000. What? Wouldn't it be nice to remove that fear from your financial life? Wouldn't it be nice to know that there's a fixed investment every month based on what you want? Not because I want to make you buy every single thing under the sun from us, but because it's what you want. Wouldn't it be nice to know that you don't have to wake up in the mornings and worry and wonder about what my tax bill is going to be like at the end of the year? Wouldn't that just relieve a lot of stress? Wouldn't it be nice to know that you get a little video once a quarter that says to you, my cute face, that says to you, this is where you stand. This is where you are tax-wise. Oh, and by the way, the law just changed. And so remember the plan I just gave you like a year ago? That's no longer applicable. Now it shifts direction. And now we have a new thing we want you to do. Wouldn't that be nice? How would it make you feel to know that you'd have an expert in your pocket? Literally. Like you could butt dial me by accident, and it's happened. Totally butt dial me. Right? Wouldn't that be nice that you would have access to a tax expert in your pocket? That you could say, listen, so I'm at the store, and I'm a restaurant owner, and I need these cans of beans. Wouldn't it be nice that you could just call us up and say, I forgot what you said about food as it relates to my business, and to have us reinforce it back to you? Or how about my favorite one? I found love. By the way, only in taxes can I get married to multiple people at the same time, just saying. They call these partnerships. And so I fall in love with you, we start doing business. And then 6 months later you realize you just created a tax consequence. Wouldn't it be nice to have that discussion before you went to bed with them? And I can tell you what the consequences would be if you married me, you know. So, you know, like, can you imagine if we had that conversation? Wouldn't it be nice to prevent shit from happening? Hell yeah. So nonetheless, let's move on. So, here's the thing. Proactive tax planning, I kind of mentioned it earlier. It's more than one idea. It's more than one deduction. And here's the thing. It's about recording your history. Wouldn't you like to have control over that? Sorry. Wouldn't you like to have the history of knowing that you're writing your future, not just recording your history? Most accountants do that. They simply record it. They don't help you to write it. That's the truth. Many taxpayers don't know what their tax liabilities are. Again, wouldn't that be nice to know? So, I told you I'd make a promise, I'd make an offer. What we do, what we're really good at, is we're finding money that you left on the table. We're really good at finding money that's about to go to the IRS. Like my $3.5 million client that was about to cut a check to the IRS for $3.5 million. Anyone want to ask me what they actually had to send a check for?
What they have said they actually have to send a check.
Just $200,000. So, wouldn't that be nice? Now, let's move forward. Okay, so, Jane is my wonderful coach. And, if we're all speakers, we all know that our asses have to come up with formulas. And so the other day I was like, okay, I'm going to come up with a formula. And I finally figured it out. All right, here we go. It's my tax formula. Here's the thing. The first thing we have to do is to think. What a brilliant idea. We just have to think. We have to shift the mindset from, it's an expense. It's an expense. I don't have the money. I don't have this. I don't have that. It's not worth it. Oh, but I barely make $1. Right? We have to shift the mindset to show you that people like myself, certified tax coaches and planners, are an investment to doing business. We're the only people, in my opinion, humble opinion, that we can get back your return on your investment. Isn't that a beautiful thing? To get back. The second thing that I realized a long time ago is that we have to act. We have to take action now. Not because I want to be a pushy sales guy. It's the IRS's fault, by the way. Because the truth of the matter is they got a hard deadline of 12/31, 11:59 p.m. And if you don't have your stuff in order by then, ain't much I can do. But it's not all doom and gloom. The government, in its lovely, lovely mindset, says to us, yo, you filed the wrong return, you made a mistake. Guess what? You can go back and amend it. There's limitations to apply. But the nice thing about it is we can amend a return as often as we need to fix any errors. Wouldn't that be nice if you could do that in your own lives? You can go back and fix it, but we can't. It's called rewriting our stories. And we are literally doing this with tax returns. Literally doing this with tax returns. So you gotta act now. It's urgency. It is not because of me, because of the government. That's the truth. The other one, of course, is you have to execute. You gotta step into your power and fundamentally believe that you deserve the right to not pay these unnecessary taxes. You must take action and execute and sign up for us to work with you. Now, I did tell you I was going to make you an offer, but here's one last thing I wanted to point out. If I don't even get this video to load, never mind. So I'll use the analogy. Nobody likes to be late to the party. Nobody. Well, unless maybe you're like one of those people that likes to come on purpose late, and tax is not a good idea. But nobody likes to go late to the party. So, let's not. Let's all come together to the same party at the same time. So with that in mind, I believe I said I was going to make an offer. And yes, I am. So Paige, you're going to walk around, you're going to hand out an offer. Here's the truth. JB Financial only works with very select few clients. You have to apply to work with us. If you are serious about wanting to say yes and that you're ready to make a difference in your tax life, now is the time to work with us. If you are saying yes to, I'm ready to invest in my company to get back the money that I want so I can do the things that I want, now is the time. If you're ready to save serious money, now is the time. And let's be real. If you're ready to be a business tax-savvy individual, you can walk around proud and you understand what the hell an S corporation is when they ask you, now is the time. So what we're offering you is this. You can either fill out this application, I would prefer if you did, or you can text us at Let's Get Naked Now, all one word, Let's Get Naked Now, to 555-888. Let's Get Naked Now, and get down to the naked truth of who we are, and save those monies. Let's Get Naked Now, all one word, or fill out an application. Here's what to do. Today, $497 is the application fee. If you're serious about making a difference in your life, it's a $497 investment to make a difference in your life. You saw how much money we saved, $3.5 million all the way down to $7,500. That means that it's not limiting you to how much money you make as a business owner. The possibilities are endless. Here's another thing. I hate when people take my money and don't deliver. I freaking hate it. How many of us hate it? Me too. So I built in 100% money back guarantee. You have nothing to lose, quite literally. If I cannot find you a minimum of $497 in tax savings, I will literally write you a check back, and I will happily give it back to you. That's all I'm asking for. But I'm only looking for people who are serious about putting in the hard work to make a difference in their tax life. All right. That concludes us. All right, yes, Q&A. Anybody? Questions?
I just want to clarify.
Clarify.
So you work with any state?
Yes, we're borderless. I have clients in England, I have clients in France, I have clients in Canada, I have clients and all over the United States.
Wow.
Yes.
What are the biggest mistakes that we are making?
The biggest mistake that all of you guys, but the biggest mistake that most of us make is that we believe fundamentally there's only one strategy, one entity, the sole proprietor. Oh! Can I get nasty with you guys? I really want to get nasty with you, just once, just once. I think we're all done eating. I think we can handle this. May I just ask something? Does anybody know the difference? My tax experts, not allowed to ask the question, or my lawyers. Anyone know the difference between an LLC, a C corporation, and a sole proprietorship? Anyone know the difference? You know that answer. One's about taxes. Anybody else? Yes? One's what? One's an abbreviation, yes.
A C corp, you pay, the corporation pays the bill, and an S corp, it goes back to your personal side and is accumulated with your
Personal funds, right? Beautiful. That strategy, the S corporation, used to be the #1 strategy that most accountants used. Thanks to the reform law of 2018, now we have to analyze and determine if whether or not a C corporation is the best method. Because the C corporation has a flat tax rate of 21%. But it requires an analysis to determine if that is the best move for you. And again, it's individualized, so it's hard to say. I can't just blanket say this. So are you ready? Here you go. You'll never forget the 3 types of protection. You never will. I promise you this. And I say it to every single one of my clients, and they never forget. If you are a sole proprietor, do you know what you guys are doing? You're having unprotected sex. That's what you're doing, right? All it takes is one time, and then next thing you know, you got a UTI, or you've got hepatitis C. The point is you're having unprotected sex if you're a sole proprietor. And guess what? Uncle Sam punishes you for having unprotected sex and slaps a massive tax bill against you, a massive tax rate against you for having unprotected sex. The second one is my LLC. I love this one. And if I offend you, I apologize in advance. It's a dental dam. It's a dental dam. We get it. It's a dental dam. It's a little barrier. Now, stuff still gets around the side. It's not 100%. Stuff still leaks out from the side. But it does a hell of a lot better job of protecting you. Uncle Sam has 2 methodologies for this one. He says, you know what? I like the fact that you're trying to be safe, so I'm going to work with you on those tax rates. But if you slide into the S, then I'm really going to reward you for trying to be safe. The third is my condom. 99.99% effective. That's my C corporation. It can be pierced because people commit the C word. And no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about commingling of funds. The moment you commingle your funds, you ruin the protection. It's like piercing the rubber. And now the lawyers go, I see it's leaking. Now I'm coming after you. Now Uncle Sam, on the other hand, goes, you know what? I like the fact that you're really about the safe sex stuff. So we're going to reward you, and we're going to make it possible for you to deduct more things that you're not normally entitled to if you're structured any other way. And we're also going to give you a flat tax rate so that you never have to really worry about it fluctuating up and down based on your individual tax rate. This is what the government does. Okay, so unprotected sex is sole proprietor. By the way, you're going to pay a minimum tax of 15.3% over a net income of $400 if you're a sole proprietor. On top of that, you're going to pay ordinary income tax that ranges from 0% to 37.5%. On top of the 15.3%. So that's about 50%-ish points. Okay, LLCs are what? Down. Right? Again, depending on how if you slide into the S, you might only pay just your effective tax rate as an individual. Or if you decide to stay as an LLC, you're still going to pay the sole proprietor rate, 15.3%. And of course, my condom is C corporation. Flat tax rate of 21%. Here's the problem with the C corp, though. Yes, but not with me. Limitations do apply. So now, she's absolutely correct. The government does, I like the fact that you're practicing safe sex and you're keeping it all here. But if you don't distribute it, we're going to tax you at the corporate level for not distributing it appropriately. So now I gotta sleep around. That's right, sister. Only in taxes can I have multiple partners. And so now what we do is we form another company. I love this little loophole. We form another company where we fund it. And we shift the earnings into that other company. And then we tell the government on paper, we may or may not use this money to develop something down the road. We're not sure yet. And you can hold on to it. And it's called a conservatory easement that allows you to partner up with people and invest in land. And all you do is tell the government, I may or may not develop this, just so you know. I might change my mind, I'm not sure yet. And it stays and it rests there. Now, if you want to do something like that, though, I'm going to tell you right now, you got to invest at least $1 million or more. That's the truth. So it's not for everybody. But it's something the government says, this is what we can do with earnings. Now, it's not a bad thing if you got to kick out the dividends, because the dividends are taxed at your ordinary income tax rate. And if we made you really poor on paper, can you imagine your tax bracket then? Here's another mistake that self-employed individuals make, or that business owners make. They forget one important court case that happened in 2017, where the government came out and said, you, my friend, must pay yourself a fair compensation for what you do in your business. So a lot of accountants quickly open their eyes and they're like, oh shit. So now I gotta call all of my shareholders CEOs. What's the problem with that? CEOs are extremely expensive. But if I take my job duties and I hire them out to others, am I still the CEO? No. Not necessarily. So my compensation amount doesn't have to be as high. So for example, I had a doctor that was paying herself over $250,000 a year in salary. See, here's the truth. In a corporation and in an S corporation, what we're controlling is FICA tax, that's 15.3%, and we're controlling ordinary income tax. That's what we're controlling. So entrepreneurs, darn it, I heard it click over here and it distracted me, darn it. Rabbit, 15.3%, I forgot what was going with this.
2018 case.
Yes, thank you. So she was paying herself $250,000 unnecessarily in wages. And so what we do is we run a comprehensive report, an analysis, because in 17 the court cases came through and said, and you know who made the mistake, by the way? A freaking accountant, greedy, and said that he made $0 and took out $90,000 in tax-free distributions. And the IRS has a problem with this. And so it created a court case. And then 2 more court cases created, and they lost too. So now our hands are tied, and now we have to run an analysis. And so I took this doctor that was paying herself $250,000 a year because her accountant just was being safe. And we got her all the way down to just a lovely $63,000 a year to pay herself. That added up in massive savings for her because now we cut the 15.3% FICA tax, and we also cut her ordinary income tax that she would otherwise be subjected to. So sometimes it's not just about like the tax return. Sometimes it's about planning for our salaries. Sometimes it's about making decisions to like hire our children as chauffeurs or hiring our spouses as our secretaries. It's about this. This is the reality of tax. Taxes is a lot of fun for me, not for you, but for me. And what I can tell you is that when you, again, I'll reiterate it, nobody wants to get dirty and play in taxes, but I really enjoy it. I really, really, really do. And I can go on some more other success stories. I had a client that, the $3.5 million, they're a $1 billion client. The $7,500 was only, he's a pilot, personal pilot, by the way, my future pilot, just saying. 2023. I would personally float around the country, and he only brings in $50,000 a year, and yet we saved him $7,500. So you don't have to be that person that's making $1 billion. You don't have to be the person making $900,000 or $700,000. You could make as little as $50,000 and still realize the savings. Because the truth of the matter is that I get paid based on the value that I bring to you. That's the truth.
So tell us what's gonna happen in this.
Yes, oh sorry, okay. So here's what's gonna happen. You guys are gonna fill this out. You're gonna check all four boxes, because that's how I know you're serious. And only if you're serious. You're gonna put your name, you're gonna put your address, because we need to know where to mail you goodies if you decide to sign up, 100%. A phone number, so we can call you and bug you, no, just kidding. So we can call you and make those appointments and bring you in. And then all you gotta do is put down your email address where we can contact you, because what will happen is Paige will actually send you out an invite to our secure portal. We're not required by law to maintain extensive security. So you will get an invite to our portal. Some of my clients don't like it, and you get it, and then you upload your documents. We'll tell you what to upload, your prior tax returns. But what if you don't have a prior return? Well, it tells us that we're not in compliance, and so we charge a flat fee to bring you into compliance. We remove the fear of I haven't paid my taxes in 10 years, or 5 years, or last year. We bring you to compliance. My books are a mess. We bring you to compliance. The other thing you're going to do is put down a credit card number. That's the obvious, because I got to get paid. Daddy doesn't send a link until he gets his money. And so you just fill it out in its entirety. We run it first, and then when it goes through, we unlock the wolves. And then you just upload it, and then like I said, we run through the numbers. And by the way, we are offering a free 15-minute consultation at it's a surface level. It's just looking at it and scanning it and going, yeah, you forgot the miles, and yes, you forgot your home rental. This one is in depth. It's looking at all the strategies that were left off the table. It's looking at, maybe we should have formed a C Corp, an S Corp, a single member LLC. Maybe we should have hired the child, hired the parents, sold back the houses. That's the in-depth. It requires more, because the savings are that much more massive. Of course, date it, and then all you have to do is sign your name so we can charge your card. And like I said, if I can't find you $497, I'll give it back.
So you're doing a full analysis of their taxes.
Yep.
From start to finish, they're gonna look at everything that they did right, wrong, and what they need to do in the future.
Yes. Yes.
Did I approve this
Yes, you did.
offer? Because that is just stupid.
Oh.
I didn't realize it was a full analysis. Do you people understand what this is looking at? I'm just curious. Okay, I was not 100% clear.
This isn't doing your tax return.
This is not preparing tax returns. This is not making your books look nice and up to compliance. It's none of that. None of that at all. It is just taking time out of my day to skim it up. Here's the truth, peoples. We are all experts in our own fields. And many of us can look at, you can come look at my systems and be like, yeah, so you need to automate that, and you need to automate this, and you need to automate that, right? That's what you would do. For you, it took you 10 seconds. I'm a tax expert. So it takes me a few hours, but that's it, maybe less. I can honestly, if someone had a return, I didn't do it today, but if someone had a return, I can literally pick it apart and like, oh yeah. That's behind the scenes, because you don't need to like have upset tummies while we do it.
So we're uploading our last year's return for you to look at.
Yes.
And tell us that our guy cost us $200,000 or whatever.
And then will you help us get that money back?
And then if it's possible, we help you get it back.
Right.
So what she just asked was, so what we do, we upload the returns, which is what you would do, and then we analyze it. And we double check to make sure what was missing, what was left off the table, and if we can amend it, we will.
Do we phone call consultation, or how do you?
We can meet with you in person. We can meet with you on Zoom. That's our preferred method, is Zoom. Phone calls, that's the other way. So Zoom, phone calls, in person. The 3 ways to connect. You can live anywhere in the world and still Zoom in and talk to us. There's a loophole. If you're a foreigner living in another country and earning income over there and making money in the United States, Uncle Sam rewards us to the tune of $250,000 in exempt income. And because I know that, I formed a restaurant in southern France, where France has the same treaty as we do, and they exempt $130,000 in European monies and euros. I'm now about to fulfill a tax-free life. So this is the power of tax.
So all this and you haven't hit puberty yet?
I have all this and I've not hit puberty yet. I just turned like And by the way, what you see up here is what you get literally in the office. Like, maybe a little bit more intense, but I digress. It is what you get. You're right here, the funny, the humor, all that.
So if we want to keep working with you and have you do our returns next year, do you have a bonus offer? Oh, wait, there's more?
Wait, there's more. So here's the thing, yes, absolutely. So the plan itself does not include preparation of returns and fixing your books. Let's be very clear. It's giving you a roadmap so that you never have to pay $141,000 again. Or that you don't have to ever pay $7,500 again. And if you'd like, you could theoretically go to your existing accountant and have them do all the compliance work. It wouldn't hurt my feelings. You could do that. Well, why would you? That's fantastic. But
Sorry, I'm full of questions. So then you don't form the LLC, C corps, or anything like that?
so
Yes.
when we develop your plan, if it calls for us to create additional entities, we do all that for you.
Any state, right? Or
In any state.
Can you advise us, like, if we live in California, maybe we should go
So
to that?
one of my, thank you so much, because I have a package. So here's the thing, we develop a plan, tells you what you're going to do, and then we create a package for you that you maintain with us on a monthly basis for a certain amount of monies, obviously. And it doesn't guarantee, it makes sure and ensures that you're going to get the results that we told you you're going to get. And so inside this package, we include everything from the bookkeeping to financial preparation to virtual CFO services, like looking at your total sales, expenses, et cetera, and telling you where you're losing money and how to shore it up. We're also taking a look at the tax returns, so we do prepare the returns as part of this as well. So we include tax return preparation. So if we tell you you got to form 4 corporations, guess what? You got 4 corporate returns that we're completing on your behalf.
Do payroll?
We do offer payroll. We have limitations to apply, but yes, we do offer payroll. We also offer basically anything and everything it takes to make your lives easier. We provide.
You can coach us on quarterly.
Yes, I have packages that you can meet with us as low as minimum as two times a year in the summertime, and then just before the end of the year to discuss your tax plan and to discuss your projection. We also have packages that we offer that you can meet with us as often as you'd like, unlimited. So if you got 2,000 questions, you can call us up, email, text, you name it, and ask your 2,000 questions, and you'll get 2,000 answers based on your questions.
So Jonathan, on this sheet, if there's a 15-minute call that we can ask more personalized
Yes.
individual questions, was there any other tax questions, any other strategy questions?
What if someone doesn't already have anything?
So you're just a startup, for example?
Yeah, it's a startup, yeah.
Like a startup, those are great clients for us because you're fresh, you're a virgin, and we get to determine what we want your life to look like with you. That's the beautiful thing. So versus you've already been used around the block and then we gotta fix you, we start out fresh.
Hey, I resemble that remark.
Well, I've been around the block a few times. So, anyways, but yes. So startups are good starters for us.